Side of the Storm is brought to you by Revelton Distilling Company. You can visit them in Osceola, Iowa, or on the web at www.reveltondistillery.com.
And we'll say, hey, what's going on, everybody? We've been bantering, so that might not make it on the pod, but we here today. This is episode 1.4, our fourth episode, and so we are here with you again. Trice Legacy Foundation, George Trice here, my man Brent Curvey over here, and my man Marcus Pfizer. So we here with you again. You can't see the video. Sometimes y'all may see the video, but y'all just hear it. But they both got their glasses. I have decided for the month of October that I am not going to drink during the week. So Monday through Thursday, no beverages or no candy because I'm trying to lose weight. Okay. And I got a sweet tooth and I love my bourbons. And that Revelton is good. And so I'm not drinking on the podcast for the month of October. I'm just letting y'all know that. So, I gotta be disciplined. I gotta be disciplined.
Gotcha. Well, hats off to you, man. I couldn't do it, but hats off to you.
I had a moment. It's Taco Tuesday. It's National Taco Day, and it's Taco Tuesday. And I normally have me a drink with my tacos, and I wanted one. And then yesterday my kids was wilding out. I'm just like, man, I need a bourbon to take the edge off. And my wife's like, I'm supporting you.
She's reminding you. That's what
that's what it was. So yeah, we gonna kick this off, but we gonna kick it off a little different today. And I didn't even tell my co-host this, but if you look at the rating on Apple, I think it says rated for everyone clean. So Shipley, you may have to change that because the first thing I'm about to say right now is fuck cancer. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Absolutely.
It is the beginning of October. I am not wearing pink, but if you look at my shirt is the Gin Vice Rungi K Crew. So it's the knockout cancer, the KO cancer. I got my bracelet on, strikeout cancer, because this is a pivotal disease. This disease has not found a cure, and it's been going on. They find a cure for everything but this, and it's hard. We're losing people. I know. Brent, you said one of your coworkers, she doesn't listen to this, but you said she's dealing with this.
Yep. She's actively fighting it right now, man.
Yeah. And then I got a homegirl that's on, I think she's on Channel 5 News. Her name is Danielle Wiggins out in Cleveland. Shouts out to Cleveland. She's dealing with it right now. And her story has been on air. And then, with Jen Bice Runke, Iowa State great in softball, she is dealing with brain cancer, and I don't think she will mind me saying that. Everybody giving the support. So support cancer research, especially save the boobies. I've been seeing that a lot. People been making pancakes with like blueberries in the middle. They say the boobies. They're making light of it, but this is a disease that's taking our women, and so and men can get it too. But everybody got to get them screenings, especially our women. Go get your screenings, get them squished. My wife had her squished. You got to get them things squished. I mean, I don't know what y'all want to add to the F cancer. I'll edit it myself in case Ship don't edit it out. But
yeah, absolutely. Yes, like you said, fuck cancer, 100%. I've gone through a lot in my family. My dad died of lung cancer, so it's something that definitely hits close to home. Have a number of women in my family that has battled breast cancer, has come through it, and some has been, battling it for years and years and years. So we're grateful for the fact that, their fight continues, and everyone that has to go through it, each and every person on this earth definitely have somebody that they know or directly been affected by cancer. And, and like you said, there's so much research that's going into everything. Hopefully this is one of the ones that we can get to a cure to quicker, sooner than later, because it's taking a lot of souls, and it's leaving a lot of broken souls still here. When those souls pass on. So definitely fuck cancer 100%. And we're going to continue to fuck cancer until there's a cure.
Yeah, and Brent, I'll let you say what you want to say, but also want you to make sure you get to shout out what your business is doing this month. So go ahead and do your thing, my man.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's you know, kind of to piggyback there off of Marcus, man. I lost my father to prostate cancer. So, you know, cancer sucks, you know what I'm saying, period. So big fuck you to cancer. But you know, I have an employee of mine. She's been with me since we opened our store, and she's actively battling breast cancer now. So on the upside, she's taking one treatment a week now. So it's less hurt on her, I should say. So she's been bopping around like nothing's happened. She's got a great attitude. So I love to see the fight in the people, man. But with that, at my shop, we're basically taking some donations. We're going to match them as well. But at my store, we bought pink boxes. We typically have black boxes that we put our kolaches in, kind of set us apart from other bakeries that have white boxes and so on. So we got black boxes typically, but for this month, we're doing pink boxes. We put out a little message or post out there about, oh, sweet. Yeah, so we put a little message out there about people, you know, if you want your kolaches placed in the box, you can give a $2 donation. Obviously, we'll match that, but whatever dollar amount that you choose, you know, we're gonna match $1 for $1. So, you know, we're trying to do our part and help any way we can. I know the Trice Legacy Foundation will soon be providing some towels, so some pink towels to go along with the boxes. So we'll be able to kind of bump that up, you know, get you a towel and a box there, roughly for about $5 donation, you know, to Susan G. Komen Foundation here in Iowa. So we're just doing a small part, whatever we can to help the people in need.
That's what's up. Yeah, we from our second annual event, the re-up that we had this earlier this year, we had some pink towels that I just wanted to do something different. And we had extras, and so I want them to go to a good cause. So, you know, my communications person in Des Moines, Kara Birkland, is going to be bringing them out there. So you buy your kolaches and you get a towel for your donation. So, but none of that's coming back to the foundation. This is strictly for what's going on this month and what Coach Brent is doing. So this has nothing to do with Trice Legacy Foundation. Just I have some pink towels. This is what we're going to do. We support one another, and that's what the brotherhood's about. Whose dog was just drinking? That dog was thirsty. Was that somebody's dog drinking?
It's probably mine.
Oh yeah, he was thirsty.
Yeah.
Oh man, but
these microphones pick up everything.
They do. I mean, if we don't, we don't know how to adjust everything. So that's why I'll be telling y'all, like, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what I just heard? Like, I'll be hearing all kinds of stuff. Man, we got some good equipment. I guess.
My girl over there sleep on her pillow. She don't do much.
For sure. So let's get into this this last week.
Man.
I'm not gonna start off where everybody thinks I'm gonna start off. You know, we can all go and say, you know, this or that about the game. I will say that while Deckers had a great passing game, that interception did lead to points. Mm-hmm. If that interception didn't happen and it didn't lead to the points that it led to a touchdown, the game would have been different. It was a low scoring game. It was a clunky game. You know, there's always some good to point out of that. But you know, when you have your leading rusher for the team go out, and he has 8 of the 20 some yards that we had, you know, on the ground, that stopped our run game. So we know that, you know, we have some work we need to do to prepare these next running backs. We've always, I think, the past couple of years, depended on the running back. Breece Hall, that was the run game. And so now we need to take a look and say, you know, who's going to step up for Brock? When Brock's out and he's week to week, who's going to step up in the rushing game? Because Deckers did what he had to do in the passing game. But, you know, that's where I wanted to lead with this and say, you know, because as I look at player of the game, Brock is my player of the game. He didn't play, but we saw that we needed him from that run game. And without him and that injury, that hurt us a lot on the run game because we didn't do what we normally do.
Man,
yeah. When that injury occurred, early, super early.
Mm-hmm.
I let out a couple explicitives, and my wife was like, "Well, did they, Kansas score already?" I was like, "No, our top running back is out, so this is about to be an ugly game for us." And so, I try not to think, the worst of it all, but I mean, when you've been a baller, you understand when the key player is out, how ugly things can get. And they got ugly for us fast. And it was like you said, the score was low.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it as low as we kept it, defensively was definitely a positive. But man, to have him to lose him so early, to lose him at all, and not have his production definitely hurt us, man.
100%, man. Gosh, I give a big shout out to the defense, man, because, watching those guys fly around and continue to compete. And I mean, 14 points, they're pretty high-powered offense from what I've seen. And we're still tops in the Big 12 in defense. So, big shout out to them, man. They kept us in the game best they could. I think, I guess from my standpoint, man, it's we don't have Norton. He hasn't been back yet, but we obviously struggle on the run game, so we're so heavy pass, and that just kind of puts Decker in situations. It's going to be tough because he's a gunslinger, so he trusts himself to put balls in tight windows that most people won't. You know what I mean? So with that, he's taking a lot more chances, and he feels like he has to take a play. So I'd like to see our play calling kind of change a little bit to kind of move him out the pocket and get some more simpler throws and whatnot. But, that run game is a major component to that. So even if we got to, start introducing some quarterback powers and doing some stuff to just make him a running QB to open up some of these throwing lanes, man. I think those are going to be some keys down the line. But, right now you can still tell that Manning is trying to get his footing with Deckers, more or less.
Yeah, and I have a chat group with some Iowa State football players, basketball players, and just some Iowa State people. And the first thing was like, get rid of the OC, and that was the first thing. Get rid of the OC. Get rid of the OC. But I want to read a quote that Decker said. He said, they did a good job mixing things up with their different blitzes, and we have a lot of things to clean up on our offensive end. If we do that, we'll be just fine. He said, I was all right today, but I got some things I need to do better. That's a leader. He shows his leadership, and he knows what's there. He knows that he can do better, and that because of one of his offensive weapons is not there, he knows that he needs to change up what he does. So as a leader, as someone coming in and taking over for Brock, for Purdy, he recognizes what he needs to do, and he can't do it all on his own. That's what he can't do it on his own. And I mean, I don't know if y'all got anything y'all want to say about him, because I'm gonna say something about the defense here in a minute, because you brought that up too, Brent. But I don't know if you got anything you want to say about Deckers right now. But if you do, go ahead. If you don't, I'm gonna go and say something about the defense.
Well, I think we still have to understand that he is extremely young still. This is his first true test of the Big 12, and this is our second game. Yes, we would like to not be 0-2, but that's where we are right now. And he's taking the lumps. He's figuring it out still. He's throwing for a lot of yards. Being shorthanded. With Brock being out, that could have opened it up a lot more for him. So to keep that game that close, to lose only by 3 points for a guy that's figuring out the Big 12. The Big 12 is extremely tough and powerful. You want to talk about how bad Kansas has been for so many years, but things can turn around within a few years of time. And as you can see, they're one of the top teams, but it's still early. A couple of teams in the league hadn't played but one game, and a couple of other teams like us, we played 2, we're 0-2. And then you have a few teams that's 2-0. So we have a long ways to go. Like I said, he's taking his lumps, and he's figuring out everything that he needs to do to be better week by week. And that's all that's all it takes. We're going to get a couple games at home that I'm sure we're going to be more favorable in, and we're going to come out with some W's up with that. And in the long run, I think, he's going to be a better player as tough as it's been early for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I tell you, the other thing I was thinking about here was that protection too up front. So that without proper protection, man, that's going to make a quarterback struggle, any day of the week. So you're talking about giving up 5 sacks in a game. That's a lot. So, we can blame Manning as much as we want to, but at the end of the day, the coaches give you a call. You got to perform, whatever that call is, you know what I'm saying? In worst case, you got to protect. And, that makes the quarterback's eyes drop real quick, and that changes the dynamic of his mindset too when he's out there. So I think, he's young, like Marcus said, man, and he's just getting a taste of the Big 12. So I think they have a chance to bounce back because all of the mistakes they're making are very fixable mistakes. Mm-hmm. So I think, another week, hopefully we can kind of bring it back with K-State this week. But I think he'll be fine going forward.
So I'm putting this out. I'm putting this out there right now. Men's basketball, women's basketball. Y'all got to make up for this. Y'all got to take them games. Kansas is a basketball school, and that we haven't lost to them since 14. It's been 8 years since we lost to these guys because they're a basketball school. So I want the basketball teams, the softball team, the golf team. I want everybody to take it out and get these boys this year, these gals this year. In every sport you play against from now on for the rest of this year, that's how you play. You play to win the game.
Get that lick back.
Yeah, especially in Kansas.
Oh, no doubt. I've never been to the Big 12 championship, but I think I might go this year. I might try to get there because I've been to some games there. In a Power and Light District, or is it the Power and Light District? I've been down there a couple times, but I've never been to the Big 12 championship. But I've been to like the Kansas game down there. But I want to get down there. But that's future forward. We still in football season. And, we talk about these boys, this defense, man, that shut them out in the second half. Had we scored and the defense played the way they had, we could have and would have won this game. So I want to say shout out to our RD because they showing up. Are they still number one? They're still number one in the Big 12, and are they number one in the country? Number 2 in the country?
I'd be pretty close. I think they're tops in the country.
Yeah,
top 5 in the country. I know,
they're like top 5 in the country.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy when you think of Iowa State as the top 5 defense in the country. I'm gonna have to look up that stat while y'all talking. So y'all go ahead and talk. I'm gonna look up that stat. Yeah, because Brent, with you playing football. Oh, okay, go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, we definitely have the firepower to do it. Like we've said, it's not the mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s where they were vying to be respectable. Now this ball club is very, very respectable, and we can get in those key guys that come with a lot of cachet, a lot of talent, a lot of oomph behind their name, and they want to make a difference in the Big 12, and they want to play on the stage where they're playing against some of the top teams in the country and in the conference. So it's not the same Iowa State football where you're going to come in and it's going to be like a homecoming game for you to just get a win. No, that's not going to happen. Even these wins that even these losses that we're taking and we have taken this year have been really, really close games. One field goal here or 2 field goals there, the whole ball game changes, and we've had some, injuries that have occurred and, a couple of defensive players disqualified for the game and yada, yada, yada. So we're not that team that we used to be for sure. I'm the one that's really, really a football fan and really, really put, heavy emphasis behind the shit talking that I do for my Cyclones football team.
Yeah, and I did misspeak. We're 9th. We're the top 10.
Okay.
9th?
Yep.
That's all right.
I think we were 7th last.
Yeah.
I think they said like 7 to 10 last weekend.
I don't think we dropped. I think that some other teams just played better defense. Yeah, well, I mean, if those teams wouldn't have played, I mean, it was early in the season, but we're top 10, through 5 games. And that showed that. Huh?
In the nation.
In the nation.
Not just in the 12. We're talking about in the nation. That's huge.
In the nation, yeah. So I mean that's just crazy when you think about that. And I don't want to say who's the one above us. That team that we shall not name in the same state is number 8.
Yeah, we had to fall then. We had to fall.
But we beat them. We beat them.
We beat them. So we beat them. It don't matter.
That don't matter at all.
We're still better.
That don't matter at all. And then I'm from Ohio. I'm from Ohio. And we better than the Ohio State. So, but shout out to Gene Smith. That's my man still.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's doing his thing out there. He's getting me. So me and PJ and some other friends are going out to the Penn State Ohio State game out in Penn State. So Gene linking us up with some. We're gonna be in the section with the Ohio State Buckeye fans. So I'm gonna wear some red. Nice. I'm gonna wear an Iowa State shirt. That's my red. Gene, I hope you don't listen to this podcast. I still love you, but I'm gonna wear my Iowa State, and it's red. I'm not wearing blue or anything like that. Right. So it'll be good.
He probably still has his shirt, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, so I mean, we have some things we gotta clean up from this game. It's a loss, and we can keep talking about this. If we want to, we can keep delving into this. It was a loss. It was an ugly game. We could have won the game, but we didn't.
Special teams too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, what? Yeah, the special teams. That's What did they do anything? 37-yard was the longest return, so we did have a good return there. Sevion did do that, so we did have some positives on that right there. Sorry, wrong team. We had no kick returns. Sorry, but shout out to Sevion on Kansas. But I do, our punt returns 7 yards longest.
How many field goals do we miss? 1?
Field goals, we were 1 for 4.
Missed 2, right? We missed
3. Well, yeah, we missed 3.
Yeah.
Well, 2 hit the goalpost.
Yeah, that's right.
2.
That's what.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
That's empty points on the board, man. Like we gotta. Those are the ones when we can't cap off drives. We got to walk away with something. You know what I mean? And you're talking 9 points potentially. That's a ball game. We win. You know what I mean? Even if we don't, just the 2 that hit the goalpost, we win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just 6 points, we're up 17-14 this ball game. So special teams are always a major factor in a lot of our losses. You know what I'm saying? And that's something we have to tighten up on the other side. And I don't know, it's a freshman kicker, I believe, too. So
he is.
That could have a lot to do with it. But I mean, when your number's called, man, you got to perform. I mean, D1 football is big boy ball. So it's not a lot of hand holding. It's about performing. You know what I mean?
I'm going to make this comment. And you hear it in like movies. You hear it like in all this stuff. Like you see these memes about like contracts and stuff. You had one job.
Yeah.
You practice that every day. That's all. That's what you do. But you miss 2 and you go out there and you miss a 3rd, but he went out there. He hung his head high, and the team rallied behind him. I know everybody was a little pissed. Everybody was pissed.
Yeah.
But he gonna have to do better, and I think he learned a lot about himself and about his team from this situation. And I'm not gonna bash this guy. I see a lot. One of the things, and this is for y'all too. Marcus is different when you was in the NBA because you was getting paid to play. So people can talk about you when you getting paid and you do something you mess up.
People claim I got paid at Iowa State too. So
I was hanging out with you. You mean I didn't? You didn't get paid. You was hanging out.
Thank you. I
don't know why they could. Come on. I mean, they always thought somebody was getting paid. I remember we going off the topic, but I remember when like the NCAA came back after we lost to Hampton and tried to run some investigation on JT.
Oh, Jamal, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was with him. I was with him that night when he came, and like I'm like, really? You know, you're gonna really try to pull that card,
Right.
but
Right.
you know, they always try to find something when somebody gonna go do something big, and they know they're gonna do something big, they try to find something else. So you know, that's neither here nor there. But man, we talking about NBA and stuff. I'm like, I started losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, there it is. On Twitter, on social media, we got these thumb thugs. I call them thumb thugs.
Yeah.
You know, you got the thumb thugs that, you know, they talk big on social media. Stop yelling at these kids. I'm 42. These kids aren't. I mean, yeah, it's some NIL players that's getting some money. It's some, you know, this freshman ain't getting no money. He's a kicker. Right. He's not the guy.
Right.
You know, but he's still a kid. Even if he get money and they get money, they're kids. And for you to shame these kids and threaten these kids and talk the way you talk about what they do when they mess up, you know, people don't come to your job or your extracurricular and do that. But don't talk about these kids and like make them feel like complete shit because they messed up. They're kids. They're learning. This is a game that they're learning yet. Yes, we can be a little upset as fans, but please stop shaming these kids on social media. That's that form of bullying that is not necessary. He missed, you know, we missed some kicks, we missed some passes, we had an interception. Don't talk about these kids like that. Yeah. You know, that's just my PA piece.
I agree,
right, man. And go ahead, Brett.
No, I was just saying I agree. It's too much of that goes on, man. And I think that always affects the mental of a lot of players too, because as much as you try to avoid it now, it's just so much in your face. You can't run from it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you hear about LeBron cutting off, you know, disconnecting from social media during the playoffs. You know what I mean? Just because of all the nonsense from the Warriors that sit at home, that don't do nothing, got a bowl of chips next to them and ice cream too. You know, and they're the main ones like, I can't believe listen, like I guarantee it's something that you would not be able to get up and do. So just relax. But, you know, it's okay to be critical, like you said, man, but don't, you know, being disrespectful and talking crazy to those kids is totally not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for me, like when the game was going on, I tried to understand, you know, coming from that student athlete once before, almost 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago. But coming from that student athlete's perspective, understanding, you know, what they're going through, understanding that, you know, my oldest son, who's a pro now, just playing overseas, he was a student athlete, and Marcus Jr. is in his last year in high school, so he's about to be a student athlete, you know, coming up here soon. So I have to understand, even though I'm a fan of these kids, because we're old enough for them to be our kids, I have to understand that it is a sensitive topic for them. When I was in school, you know, the social media wasn't around like that. So it was a little bit easier. We didn't have cell phones and things like that. You can text and yada, 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 and all of that. And we definitely wasn't getting paid. But it's so much harder because the information can get around so much faster and you get back to these kids so quick. So while I was voicing my, you know, disappointment for, you know, the missing of the field goals, I even said, you know, I don't think if you gave him 100 tries, he can hit the goal post twice and 100 tries again. Like it's just one of those, you know, it was not my football week. You know, the Saints lost. The Saints lost over in London on Sunday the exact same way. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You know, how did my football teams all lose by hitting the goalpost? Like, so I'm just gonna eat it this weekend. I'm gonna eat it from the Cowboys fans and all the rest of that, and just understand. And so, like while I was on Twitter, someone tweeted back. I don't know exactly who the guy is, but I mean, it was nothing malicious. He said something along the lines of, you know, should we start looking for new kickers or something like that? And I was like, no, you know, just like free throws, you know, get into practice and just practice it. You know, it was a bad game for him. You know, I've gone to the free throw line and was 2 for 7, 2 for 8, 2 for 10. And I'm like, man, how the hell did that happen? But it happens. So understand that he is a young kid. He is a freshman. I remember, you know, my guy, Brandon Hawkins, I was telling my wife, you know, when he missed the field goals, and I was like, well, he's a freshman. You know, he's young. I said, my freshman last year in college, Brandon Hawkins, I didn't call him by his name the whole year. I call them freshmen the whole year to make them understand that, you are a freshman, and there's things that we need to get you to understand and learn. And so he picked them up well. He came in and had a lot of struggles in the beginning, didn't get a lot of playing time. But at the end of the year, when we were in those big games, like the game we beat against Kansas, down in Kansas, he had some key minutes. So you just got to understand that, they're there for a reason. They're not just there by chance. That it is talent there. Yeah. And so like anybody else, while you're sitting at home wanting to say these different things to these kids, understand, again, if you got out there and have you ever tried to kick a field goal from the 10-yard line? Have you ever tried to kick one, period?
Right.
Like as much of an athlete as I am, I've gotten out there and tried to kick some field goals. I'm like, how in the hell do they do this? Like it has to be a science. So you got to know what you're doing, and you got to give kudos to him for being able to have that talent. He's going to bounce back from it, of course.
Yeah, I'd be a great onside kicker. I'd be the greatest. I'd be the greatest. But that's about it. But you were absolutely right, man. And so, we just got to support these boys and support them through this. So when we gonna do that? So shouts out to them. But as we pause before we go into our next week game, y'all got anything else y'all want to say to recap last week?
No, Campbell, he got his first win against Iowa, first loss against Kansas. So we're gonna, everything balances out. So we're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna take that
scales of justice have weighed in.
Right. The good, the bitter with the sweet. We just gonna keep on rolling and understand like his progression and his mind thought processes, during the game is definitely gonna have these boys dialed in. I love watching them on that sideline. My wife was like, man, he's gonna have a heart attack. I was like, no, it's just him. I've seen plenty of coaches and Iowa State coaching roles that have that type mentality. This is just what we do. Just let them be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mr. Hyde is going to come out. Or Dr. Jekyll. Which one is it? Which one is it? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Which one's me?
So while we transition, and Marcus, if you didn't see it on a video, Marcus was taking a sip. So we do now. Brent got heads up, but we do want to shout out Three Beards Media for setting us up with this, and we do want to shout out Revelton Distillery for being our sponsor. I'm excited to try other things. The honey is very good. I want to try their regular. I think they got a vodka. So I want to try the whole gambit of their products because it's nice to see that hometown. I was a big Templeton, and I knew some of the families that made the original Templeton. So when I would go back to some games, we get the bootleg Templeton ride that was out from out there. So it's good to see Revelton doing that. So Revelton, thank you for what you're doing. Salutes to you. Three Beers Media, Ship and Aaron. Appreciate you for giving us this opportunity. Keeping the social media going, keeping the followers going. Providing the feedback so we can get better. This is going to be our craft, and we want to get better. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, and that feedback is what we need. I mean, we're not pros at this. I don't think anyone are pros at this. Even the Joe Rogans that sit down, they just sit down and speak what they're feeling, off the top of their heads and off their hearts. And we're just just trying to share the things that we're sharing with you guys from knowledge that we have. I'm coming from the fans' perspective during the football season. We're going to let, Big Play Curve take us through the most of what the football season is really about. And as I learned more and more of being so envious because I wanted to play football, I just never did. Basketball took over eventually. So, like I said, I'm coming from the fan side of it all and definitely enjoyed it for sure.
No doubt. And you brought up a name, and I do want to shout out. I know this dude does not listen to our podcast, but B Hawk, Brandon Hawkins, his birthday is today.
Oh, so, yeah, is it?
Happy birthday, B Hawk! It is.
Reach out to my guy,
yeah. So he I'm about to put him on blast though too because I know he ain't listening. But I know somebody on this podcast had a signed ball for me for a while. We ain't gonna name no name on this call. But the person who had it just as long, Brandon Hawkins still has the ball as well. So Marcus Quinn wasn't the only one in the boat. He has it as well. And so when I texted him happy birthday this morning, he said, "Oh, check your mailbox." So look, if I don't have a ball from Brandon Hawkins by next meeting, I'm calling them out again. By our next Tuesday, calling them out again. Brandon Hawkins, B Hawk, next Tuesday for sure. That ball to me. So we go transition to next week, but I do got one more thing that I forgot to throw out. So last week we talked about having special guests. Our guest this week was supposed to be Dan McCarney, Coach Mac. And if you don't know, Ivan came through Florida and ripped Florida to shreds. And Coach Mac lives down in Florida. He and his wife are fine, but he was not able to get on today because of the cleanup of the power and things like that that's going on down there. So we give him grace. We pray for him and his family. We pray for everybody down there. I'm in insurance, so I see this all the time. Nationwide's been down there. I know Philly's been down there, and Travelers has been sending people down there. So, let's send that to them. If you can donate to the Red Cross. I know we always asking y'all for money, but they're for good causes. If you could donate something down there, if you could donate time, shoot, if you could donate blood wherever you are, they're going to need all of this stuff. So keep them in your prayers. Reach out to some of your friends down in Florida. I was in Charlotte, so I got a little bit of that weather as well. I was in Charlotte at a conference last week, and I was involved in some of that weather. I was able to get out before the weather really hit. But shouts out to them, and Coach Mac. Whenever you're ready to get on with us, we will be happy to have you on here with us.
Absolutely,
100%.
So next week is this week, Saturday, Farmegeddon. And if y'all don't know, this is actually K-State, Iowa State is actually one of the longest rivalries out there. And it was when Iowa State was not Big 12, but I think it was Big 8, back when the Big 8. So this is one of the longest rivalries. And there's a couple different things. The reason why I like this game so much, and this rivalry so much, is because of what K-State and Iowa State have in common outside of football. It links to football because of Jack Trice, but also Switzer down at K-State. He was helping. He was doing some of the farming things, and he founded the Kansas Black Farmers Association and a foundation supporting ag camps for kids. And Jack wanted to go down south and teach ex-slaves how to sharecrop and make money sharecropping with his animal husbandry degree. So K-State and Iowa State has that connection, and one of the longest rivalries in the Big 8, Big 12 as it sits right now. So this game has a significance. It doesn't have a big draw as the Iowa State game because that's the in-state rivalry, big brother, little brother. And that's what it always is. You always got that big brother, little brother. But this one is a long rivalry. And I know I've talked to some people from K-State. My man Ken came up and golfed at my event, and actually spoke to the golfers at the end of the event, talking about what he's doing, but trying to get, a better trophy to symbolize Switzer and Trice, that Farmegeddon, and get that rivalry ingrained into everybody's minds because it is so long. So shouts out to Ken and the group down there. Trying to get that started and that movement going. Never forgetting these legacies, never forgetting these things. I made a post on Facebook about, never forgetting. A lot of stuff about Jack Trice was out in 2020 when social injustice was big on TV. Now that it's not, you don't hear about it as much. You don't hear about these stories as much. So we got to keep these in the forefront. So, shouts out to K-State for what they're doing. And we look forward to this game next week. So the game is at 4:30 my time, so 2:30 Central Time. 6:30 Central Time. Night game under the lights at the Jack. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, it looks like they're ranked 20th in the nation. They're 4-1. Am I reading that right on ESPN?
What did you say?
Am I reading that right? They're 20th in the nation, 4-1.
Yeah, they are. Yep, 2-0 in the conference. They are they are. It's gonna be a good one.
Real good one. Real good one. They got us favorite to win, looks like, huh? By the power index, 55.
Oh yeah, we still, we've messed up, but yeah, we still
don't
favored.
Get it don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted.
We'll be all right. I think this will be the week we bounce back because K-State is a heavy run team, and I think if we stop the run, which I think we're averaging about 83 yards a game now, and they like to put up big numbers on the rushing side of the ball. So I think we stop the run, we stay in this game, and we can actually pull this off. Force them to pass, and that'll kind of play into our strength, and we'll walk away with a dub at home under the lights.
Yeah, their top rusher has 110 carries, 638 yards. So they really hand it off back there, and so our top guy on the offensive end, of course, is Hutchinson. So, he got 49 receptions for 504, and their top reception guy only had 15 catches. So, balance it out. Get it in the air, throw it out there, and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's evenly matched from our total yards in these games. So I mean, the one thing that we score more. Both teams score more than what they typically allow. So they allow 18 points a game. We are averaging 26 points a game. We've been allowing 14 points a game. They've been getting 32. So I think with our defense, but they haven't faced a defense. All the defenses they've played, they are not in the top 10, which we are.
Right.
So when I look at that, I look down, just looking at the top 10, the defenses. Yeah. OU's not on here. And they played OU. Let's see.
Who did they lose to?
They lost to Tulane.
Oh, that was like the first game of the year too, or something like that.
Yeah,
first or second game. Yeah,
that was their third game. They lost 17-10.
Was it the third one? Okay.
Yep, they lost 17-10 to Tulane. You can't count these schools out. That's the thing. Like you sleep on them. It's like we slept. I mean, we beat Ohio, but they could. I mean, any given Sunday, any given Saturday, they could have came and got us, but it just depends on who woke up on the right side of the bed that game. So, and we have lost 2 in a row. It's time for us to kick back. We gotta win that back. So we got to get the streak out of there. We can't be losing 2 in a row and losing 2 conference games. That's the kicker. We can't be losing these conference games. And we got to. I mean, and we typically win against 2 to 3 top 25 teams. So this is our time to show that we can do that. So it's time for us to win this game.
I think we put it all together this week. Like I said, being at home under the lights. That 6:30 night game stuff, we tend to play a little bit better. I don't know what it is, but I love it. I know the fans will be there and the jack will be packed for sure. But, I mean, just kind of looking statistically across the board, they got a pretty solid defense too. I think they're second in the Big 12 in sacks with 14, actually behind Kansas, and Kansas just jumped up because we gave up 5 this game. So, I think we shore up a lot of that stuff on our offensive side, and we don't allow as much pressure this week and give Deckers a chance and create some more running lanes this week. So I need to check the status on Norton too, if he's out or coming back, because he is special. Saw him running around in the spring. Cortavious Norton.
Cortavious, yeah.
Number 5, yeah. So when he's healthy, he's a difference maker. So if we can, get our run game back on track, I think that'll help us out, and we'll walk away pretty easy. But I think it'll be a barn burner, though. It's going to be a tough game because we both have a top tier defense. So it'll be a tough game.
It is, and for what you're saying, it's going to come down to the defense because in the Big 12 we're the bottom 2 teams. So Iowa State's the worst offensive, and Kansas is next. Kansas State's the next worst offensive team. And then they're just checking on the status of Brock, so it's still uncertain for Saturday. So the run game is still gonna, somebody's gonna have to step up, like we talked about before. Offensive line's gonna have to give Decker some time to throw the ball, let our receivers get out there. Receivers are gonna have to make some things happen if we're not getting on the ground, which he's been doing. But we got to find some way to have the defense keep going, and then for us to, to score through the air, or some other people step up. Get our tight end working in there. We gotta do something. Not that trickeration. I know we like to do trickeration on when we're in the midfield. We like to, do some trickeration, but we got to think of some things to keep these boys on their toes the whole game. And I think that's what our OC needs to do, is to pull some other things out that playbook to get these guys kind of involved and play to some different strengths that we have.
Yeah, definitely not looking forward to being 0-3 in the conference. I know Coach Campbell is not focused on that at all. So definitely looking for the first conference win, turn this thing around. Going 4-2, catching that momentum, and continuing on through the Big 12 with these dubs.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're tired of these the bowl games. We love the bowl games, but this 6-6 going to a bowl game,
right?
We got to get over that hump.
Yeah,
so I think one of the things that why our defense stepped up, because when they talk about expanding the playoffs, and they talk about how Iowa State's always there, and I think that got in these boys' head for the defense, like, hey, we can be up there, we can make it into the playoff, that playoff conversation, and I think that got into their heads, because beginning of the year they were talking about us, when that expands, how that's going to look. Where Iowa State always is like right there the past few years. We keep building the momentum, but we just had some uncharacteristic mess ups this year.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's special teams. It's always one or two small things. There's penalties early on at Baylor, and obviously special teams this week. So we're about at the point where we actually put a full game together. And don't have as many penalties, and don't allow special teams to be the scapegoat for the week. So I think this will be a week where, like I said, we're back at home under the lights. We can kind of put everything together and get a full performance, because we haven't really seen our team click on all cylinders yet this year.
So what's your prediction? What's the score?
I'm going to go 23-14, good guys. 23-14.
Marcus, what you got?
I'm going to say 17-14.
17-14.
We got to – it's been too tight the last couple of games. Yeah. We're struggling on that offensive end, but our defense is really holding us down. So I think, the kicker, the freshman – kicker is going to come out and redeem himself this week, and I'm looking for him to have the game-winning field goal, so that puts us over the top. So that will be big for him and big momentum. That's what I'm calling.
I'm going 21-17. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's gonna be close. Of course, good guys, but I'm thinking 21-17. I'm not a sports bettor. But I'm thinking that's what it's gonna be, So we gotta go through and we gotta keep like a tally of these, because we keep saying these scores and we don't. They've been lower. They've been a lot lower than what we've been saying. So we've been thinking we can go out there and sling, and they haven't been as high as we've been saying. Next week we are gonna, you heard it here. What did you say? 23-17, Brent, right?
23-14.
23-14.
Yeah.
Marcus, you said 17-14.
17-14, yeah.
And I said 21-17. So we will recap these numbers and see where we end up next week. But as we close this one out, shouts out to you boys. Do your thing this week. We behind you. Cyclone Nation is behind you. Cyclones everywhere. We always behind you. It's more than football. It's a family. And I saw somewhere, I'm gonna steal it. I don't know what school it was, but you never really graduate. You are always a part of that family. So we are part of that family. We love Iowa State, and so we support y'all. So go Cyclones. Anything y'all want to close out with?
Man, looking forward to this dub. That's the biggest thing. Looking forward to this dub. Like you guys said, it's up under the lights. Maybe they get a little bit more rest before the game, get their mind right. It's going to be a tough one. definitely going to be a tough one, but I'm looking forward to getting this W and turning things around. And I'm gonna be front and center. My wife's like, you can't, I know your podcast is on Tuesday, so if you record it, you can watch. Nah, I gotta watch it live. I gotta tweet during the game.
Yeah.
My guys need me. I'm that guy. If I don't watch it, something bad is gonna happen. Or if I miss it and walk back in and he hits the goal post, I should have been sitting there watching. So I'm that guy. So I'm gonna be front and center watching the game and definitely looking forward to this dub.
No doubt.
Clone gang, bang, bang. We back in this thing, man. All black. Hopefully they wear the all black unis, but you see it, we're going to walk away with a dub this weekend, man. I'm wearing my black shirt because I feel like it's a funeral coming for K-State this weekend.
As Marcel Howard would say, all black everything.
All black everything. Get us a win.
Big Selly.
Yep. Cell Block. I saw him a couple weeks ago. So Cell Block still doing good. Some guy ran up on him in a Suke Up end zone. Is that Marcel Howard? You're my favorite player. You're the best offensive lineman we've ever had. And I'm like, Cell was like, are you serious? Nobody ever recognized the offensive line. Right. Are you serious? He's like, yeah. I remember when Cell was just thrown back by this guy. At first, we like, is this guy serious? But shout outs to Marcel Howard. He was doing his thing out there. But one of the greats at Iowa State. So as we sign off, go Cyclones. We'll see y'all next Wednesday. Let us know what we can do better. We don't have that segment for errors and omissions, but we kind of correct ourselves during it. But let us know how we can do better. Signing off. Go State.
Like, subscribe, and follow, man. All of that good stuff.
And follow. Yes, sir.
Go State, baby.